Hello, I'm Randolph Wolfson. I am the managing member of Insight Estate Planning Excellence in Sun City, Arizona, where we plan for your peace of mind. What we're going to discuss now is a follow-up on the Arizona Small Estates probate procedures, but instead of discussing the procedures for personal property, which I discussed in my last video, I'm going to discuss the procedures for small estates for real estate. Now, in Arizona, if the value of all the real estate in the deceased estate measured at the time of death, after subtracting all liens and encumbrances on the property, is less than or equal to $100,000, and all debts and taxes have been paid, then the transfer of the ownership of that real estate can be made by an affidavit instead of having to go through a formal procedure in the probate court. So bottom line with this is first of all, we're talking about real estate here and not personal property. In other words, we're talking about a house and land involved with it, or a building of a business with land involved in it, those type of things, or even bare land. But we're asking the question, at the date of death, what was the value of that piece of property? We then subtract from it any liens that are still on it or any other encumbrances on it, and if that value was $100,000 or less, and all the debts and the taxes on it have been paid, then it can be transferred by way of an affidavit. That is pretty exciting, in as much as what that means is that the cost and expenses involved in having to go through a probate with a will-centered estate to going through a probate proceeding, the attorney's expenses, the expenses to have the land and the real estate appraised, the expenses for an accounting of the value of the estate and the testimony involved in it, even by affidavit from a CPA. Those expenses, those will be charged against this estate that's involved, and of course overall the amount of funds or the value of the property that's transferred to descendants becomes much less because of those expenses. And so if we could do this by affidavit without a probate court proceeding, then that is almost the best of all worlds. Now, I have quoted down here on the bottom Arizona revised statute that gives authority for that type of procedure. Now, again, I suggest that you do tread very carefully, that you seek the counsel of a qualified estate planning and a probate attorney to assist you in deciding whether or not your situation will permit you to lawfully use any of these Arizona streamlined probate procedures. Of course, as always, an affidavit circumstance is helpful unless there's some sort of contest involved, that there's a dispute with the family about who is the rightful heir, whether or not the will itself is a fraudulent will, whether or not the will was produced under shaky circumstances, under threat or duress or some sort of fraud. Those kinds of challenges are what lawsuits and litigation are made out of, and once you have that kind of thing going on in the case, an affidavit is not going to do it. This is going to have to go through a probate court system in order to untangle that mess and manage those issues, and of course that means more expenses. I, however, would recommend to you that the best way to handle these type of issues and issues generally with respect to how you want your assets treated is to develop and have crafted for you by a qualified professional, an attorney in estate planning such as myself, would prepare and craft for you a tailored trust-centered estate plan. Using a trust will avoid all probate issues. The property passes to your descendants according to the terms of the trust automatically, without need of intervention by a court or anybody else. And so I would recommend to anyone that you should make an appointment in my office to have me review your circumstances with you. We have a no charge, absolutely free, no obligation attorney consultation that is free to you It gives me an opportunity to sit down with you and evaluate your circumstances and make recommendations to you and talk to you about your case and answer your questions. So I encourage you to do that. You can find on my website a link where you can click for a free attorney consultation, which will have my office notified to contact you to set an appointment very quickly. If you have any questions, I encourage you, in fact, to click on that link on our website. You can contact us by telephone or by email on the information that will proceed directly after this clip. You have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this free video for you, and I pray God bless you. Good day.